Hi guys, and welcome to another SCI podcast. I apologise about any background noise you might hear as we are recording this at the gym today.
Today we decided we're going to talk to you about some of the benefits of improving your body composition. This goes for men and women. Sometimes it's easy to lose sight of why we're doing what we're doing in the gym and in the kitchen, so we thought we'd give you a few bullet points to serve as a reminder. First off, the better your body composition, so that is the more lean tissue you have and the less body fat you have, the easier it is to stay lean because you're going to have a higher metabolic rate. Also, you're going to reach your strength potential faster because you're building muscle first and then stimulating the neuromuscular system with heavier loads. And probably most importantly, you're going to be healthier, and so you're going to have a much stronger immune system.
So unfortunately, a lot of people find that they don't get the results that they expect, especially when they're trying to put on muscle or lose fat. Mistakes are very common but easily avoidable, and there's a few simple principles that if you can stick to them, you will get results. But first off, if you're overweight, the chances are you're insulin resistant. Now, a common mistake that people make is that they'll just pack on some muscle and then worry about their body fat later. Okay, this is a lot more difficult to do, so what you need to do is try and get lean first. So this is a nice idea because the more muscle you have, the higher your metabolic rate. But there's a catch. One of the most important factors that influences muscle growth is the sensitivity of the lean tissues in the body to the hormone insulin. The sad truth is that the vast majority of people have some degree of insulin resistance, even if they're lean. Plus, different tissues in the body have varying degrees of sensitivity to insulin. So, one of the most important things we do here at the SCI as part of our 8-week transformation and with most of our training clients is we reset as many hormones as possible, both with strength training and nutrition. Now, insulin is often referred to as the master hormone, and if your insulin management is not up to scratch, your muscle gain or fat loss journey will be difficult. Now, insulin is a very anabolic hormone, and it will drive nutrients into muscle cells, whereas in an insulin-resistant state, you are much more likely to store the food you eat as fat.
Now, another reason you may not be experiencing the results you're after is due to inconsistency in your training or perhaps not prioritizing the big lifts. Okay, so inconsistency in your training could consist of any of these. Skipping workouts, maybe not having a preset workout with specific set and rep and rest schemes, doing random workouts, so maybe lifting one day, a group class the next, cardio after that, mixing cardio and lifting in the same session, not giving full effort most of the time. Okay, there's going to be hard days in the gym, but those are the ones that are going to make you feel better if you give them everything you have. Building muscle and losing fat, as far as training is concerned, both require the same thing, and that's hard work. When training for muscle gain or fat loss, the sets, the reps, and probably the weights and the rest periods are going to differ, but the big exercises like the squats, deadlift, bench press, rows, dips, pull-ups will all offer a whole host of benefits, as they are the exercises that recruit the most muscle fibers. If you prioritize these exercises, the results will follow.
So, thirdly, and quite a big one, is not eating enough. Now, despite it sounding counterintuitive, this goes for not only muscle building, but also fat loss. High quality calories are king when it comes to achieving either goal. Of course, the amounts will vary depending on what you're trying to achieve. Now, a lot of people go wrong with caloric intake and eat too little in an effort to also lose fat, therefore depriving themselves of nutrients and energy needed for recovery. So the other thing people do is they eat too much, but choose foods that are nutritionally poor. To get the best results from your training, your body needs high quality foods that are nutritious, but generally lower in calories. These foods are known as whole foods, and they come with their own digestive enzymes so the body can break down and digest the food properly. So things like meat, fish, eggs, whole dairy, green and colourful vegetables, dark coloured fruits, nuts and seeds. So in every meal, try and have a decent source of protein, beneficial fats and vegetables, and if at all possible, try and avoid whey protein as a protein source, as it is much better for you to have whole foods.
Okay, the fourth and final point we're going to address today is doing cardio for the goal of health or fat loss. A common mistake is to think that to improve conditioning or train for healthy cardiovascular function, you have to do aerobic exercise like long distance running or cycling. In fact, any physical activity, such as weightlifting, that's challenging enough will improve heart and lung health and function. One of the few reasons we see cardio to be beneficial is if you're training for a specific endurance event or you really enjoy it and your primary reason for exercising is enjoyment. Aerobic exercise has the potential to reduce your muscular gains and halt fat loss because it can trigger different pathways in the body, leading to something that's known in science as an interference phenomenon, in which people who lift weights and do endurance exercise simply don't see the muscle gains or fat loss they'd expect. Now, this is something we'll expand on in another podcast, but aerobic exercise has the potential to ramp up your stress hormone known as cortisol, which can in fact stop fat loss and reduce your natural testosterone output. Now, if your goal is to build muscle, lose fat, and improve health, then you'll get better and faster results from adding high-intensity intervals into your workouts. Okay, so ditch anything that resembles steady-state cardio in favor of interval training or some strongman-style workouts. Now, interval training should be less than 25 minutes. That's with a warm-up and a cool-down. You want to make it as metabolically taxing as you can, with short rest periods and intense work bouts. Now, if you're working hard enough, you shouldn't be able to do more than about 10 to 15 sprints as a maximum. Now, my suggestion would be to start off with maybe 5 or 6 intervals, and then increase from there as you get fitter and as your recovery improves.
So thanks again for listening. We hope some of this information has been valuable to you. And remember, if you do have any other questions that you'd like to ask us, please don't hesitate to message us either on Facebook or via our email. Thanks again.